In those ancient times, when the mysteries of creation were still unraveling, I walked alongside a man known to you as Jesus, but in our inner circle, he bore a different name. We were not just friends, our connection ran deeper through the veins of familial ties, for we were cousins bound by the secrets of our shared lineage. The epoch was marked by divine interference, as the gods experimented with the very essence of humanity, manipulating the cells of man in a relentless pursuit of the perfect being. It was an era shrouded in mysticism and veiled ambitions, where the forces that shaped existence were far more intricate than the tales whispered through the ages. Our days were not confined to mere study and prayer. Rather, we delved into the profound arts of life and death, exploring the essence of the force that flows through all things. What you would now identify as martial arts and kung fu were our disciplines, honed to perfection through rigorous training, akin to the legendary monks bred for greatness in battle. Those monks, their lineage traced back to the warrior tribe of the gods, carried within them the blood of deities whose duty was war. Yet, paradoxically, they sought peace within themselves, a dichotomy that echoed the eternal struggle between their divine origins and their mortal existence. I, Matthew Mayat Israel, stand as a testament to these words. Our family, including the likes of good old John and the renowned Jesus, was the result of genetic manipulation by the great gods of man. We were artificially inseminated, carriers of a bloodline that held the power to challenge the thrones of both gods and men. Our existence was clandestine, moved like pawns in a cosmic chess game played by beings beyond mortal comprehension. The tales of our exploits, the ones not etched into your sacred texts, are hidden in the chambers beneath the Vatican, a clandestine library where the true history of our lineage is safeguarded. Our blood, a potent elixir, had the potential to unravel the very fabric of divine rule. As we matured in our training amidst the enigmatic pyramids of Egypt, the time came for us to embark on a journey to what you now call India. Assassins, agents of gods and men, pursued us relentlessly, attempting to thwart a prophecy that foretold our destiny. Yet, our God, the architect of our fate, was cunning, weaving a narrative that eluded the grasp of those who sought to manipulate the threads of time. The trail of our existence winds through the annals of history, echoing through the corridors of power and secrecy. In the sacred land of India, we continued our quest, for the power within our blood had the potential to reshape the very cosmos. And so, the saga of Jesus, a man of far greater depth than your tales convey, unfolds in the shadows of a reality concealed from the eyes of common mortals. In the shadow of the towering pyramids of Egypt, amidst the golden sands that whispered the secrets of millennia, Jesus and I continued our extraordinary journey. The ancient land held mystical teachings that transcended the understanding of ordinary mortals, and we eagerly immersed ourselves in the enigmatic wisdom that resonated through the very fabric of the universe. The teachings were not confined to dusty scrolls or sacred scriptures, they were an ethereal melody echoing through the corridors of time. In the company of revered sages and mystics, we delved into the esoteric arts that bridge the gap between life and death, the mundane and the divine. Our training in martial arts and kung fu took on a profound significance, evolving beyond physical exercises into sacred rituals that connected us to the ancient forces coursing through our veins. The gods had intricately woven their essence into our beings, and through each disciplined movement, we sought to unravel the mysteries that lay within. In the heart of the mystical teachings, we learned to harness the latent powers bestowed upon us by the gods. The very air vibrated with the echoes of cosmic truths as we engaged in meditation and sought communion with the unseen forces that govern the cosmos. It was not merely a physical exercise but a communion of souls with the divine forces that guided our footsteps. The pyramids, guardians of ancient wisdom, cast their imposing shadows as we explored the intricate chambers and secret passages hidden within. The stones seemed to whisper tales of gods waging wars beyond mortal comprehension, and we, the vessels of their experiment, sought to decipher the messages etched in the very stones that bore witness to the passage of epochs. In the hallowed halls beneath the Vatican, where forbidden knowledge lay concealed, we discovered fragments of our own story. The gods, embroiled in cosmic conflicts, had orchestrated a symphony of events that led us from the mystical teachings of Egypt to the vast expanse of India. The pursuit of our divine secrets turned us into fugitives, constantly evading both mortal assassins and celestial seekers. As the storyteller of our saga, I, Matthew, bear witness to the mystical teachings of Egypt, where the ordinary merged with the extraordinary, and the line between mortal and divine blurred into an intricate dance of destiny. The journey continued, fueled by the blood of the gods, as we pressed forward into the unknown, guided by the whispers of the cosmos and the ancient teachings that lingered in the very air we breathed. Immersed in the ancient teachings of Egypt, Jesus and I found ourselves standing at the crossroads of the mortal and divine, where the whispers of millennia-old secrets beckoned us into a realm beyond conventional understanding. The golden sands cradled the echoes of the gods, and within the sacred temples, we embarked on a journey that transcended the boundaries of life and death. Under the watchful gaze of revered sages, our spiritual training unfolded like a delicate dance, each movement a step closer to unraveling the cosmic mysteries. The teachings were not confined to the mere recitation of verses or the study of scrolls. They were a communion with forces unseen, a connection to the very essence of creation. As we delved deeper into the mystical arts, our minds expanded, unlocking hidden potentials that lay dormant within our beings. Through meditation and contemplation, we traversed the realms of consciousness, forging a connection with the divine forces that guided the cosmos. The gods, whose blood coursed through our veins, seemed to stir in recognition as we embraced the sacred knowledge that had been guarded for eons. The teachings led us to arts unknown to mortals, where martial disciplines transformed into spiritual rituals. In the shadow of the pyramids, we mastered not only the physical aspects of combat but also the metaphysical, channeling the ancient forces that pulsed through the very air we breathed. Our existence became a tapestry woven with threads of divine essence, and with each passing day, we became conduits for the cosmic energies that surrounded us. The gods, ever watchful, seemed to guide our every step as we navigated the sacred chambers and secret passages within the pyramids, deciphering the symbols etched into the stones that held the wisdom of epics. The mystical teachings of Egypt became a crucible, forging us into beings that straddled the realms of mortal and divine. It was a transformation that left an indelible mark on our souls, and as custodians of the secrets we uncovered, we stood on the precipice of a destiny foretold by gods and whispered by the winds. And so, with hearts pulsating with newfound wisdom, we set our sights on the distant horizon. The gods had orchestrated a symphony of events that beckoned us toward the next chapter of our odyssey, India, a land where ancient mysteries awaited, and prophecies foretold our arrival. The journey ahead promised challenges and revelations, but armed with the mystical teachings of Egypt, Jesus and I ventured forth, ready to confront the unknown and embrace the destiny woven into the very fabric of our extraordinary existence. As the shadows of impending danger loomed ever closer, Jesus and I embarked on a perilous journey, fleeing from the relentless pursuit of assassins and prophecy seekers. Our quest for sanctuary led us to the mystical land of India, where the ancient wisdom of sages beckoned like a beacon of hope in the serene landscapes. The journey was fraught with challenges, as we navigated treacherous terrains, crossed vast deserts, and traversed dense jungles, all while remaining vigilant against the ever-present threat that followed in our wake. The gods, orchestrators of our destiny, seemed to weave a tapestry of trials and tribulations, testing the resilience of our spirits. Upon reaching the sacred soil of India, a profound sense of tranquility washed over us. The air carried the fragrance of spirituality, and the very ground beneath our feet seemed to resonate with the echoes of ages past. Seeking refuge in the hidden retreats of the Himalayas, we found solace in the presence of wise sages who had mastered the delicate balance between the physical and the metaphysical. In these serene landscapes, surrounded by towering peaks that reached for the heavens, our training in martial arts and kung fu took on new dimensions. The sages, venerable keepers of ancient knowledge, guided us through a journey that went beyond the mere perfection of combat techniques. Each movement became a dance with the forces that govern the cosmos, a fusion of the physical and the metaphysical. The sages imparted not only deadly combat skills, honed through centuries of discipline, but also the profound wisdom of the ages. As we trained beneath the ancient banyan trees, the secrets of the universe unfolded before our eyes. They spoke of the interconnectedness of all things, the eternal dance of creation and destruction, and the inherent divinity that resides within every living being. Our minds expanded further, absorbing the cosmic wisdom like sponges soaking up the elixir of the gods. The sages, with their eyes that seemed to hold the light of centuries, spoke of prophecies and destinies interwoven with the very fabric of time. It became clear that our journey was not merely an escape from pursuers, it was a pilgrimage towards the fulfillment of a cosmic prophecy. In the hallowed presence of these enlightened souls, we found not only refuge but also a purpose that resonated with the echoes of divine orchestration. The sages, in their infinite grace, became mentors, guiding us through the intricate dance of life's mysteries. As we honed our skills under their watchful eyes, the physical and spiritual realms merged seamlessly, forging us into beings capable of transcending the limits of ordinary existence. And so, our journey to India unfolded not just as a refuge from the shadows of danger but as a transformative odyssey. In the land where ancient wisdom flowed like the sacred rivers, Jesus and I immersed ourselves in the teachings of sages, blending the physical and metaphysical, and preparing to face the destiny that awaited us beyond the serene landscapes of this mystical land. Leaving the sacred landscapes of India behind, Jesus and I set our sights on the mist-shrouded mountains of China, drawn by the allure of monastic marvels awaiting us amidst their ancient peaks. The journey was a testament to the resilience forged through trials, and as we ventured into the heart of the Middle Kingdom, the anticipation of new teachings infused us with a renewed sense of purpose. Nestled high in the mountains, we sought out the revered monasteries where mystic monks with legendary prowess awaited. The air resonated with an energy that felt almost palpable, as if the very mountains whispered tales of centuries-old secrets. As we approached the monastery gates, the monks, adorned in simple robes, greeted us with an otherworldly serenity that betrayed their profound wisdom. Their eyes, weathered by the passage of time, held a depth that seemed to pierce through the veils of the material world. Our training in China began with rigorous physical and mental disciplines that pushed the boundaries of mortal endurance. The monks, masters of their craft, guided us through exercises that merged the principles of martial arts with the mysticism inherent in their ancient traditions. It was not just a matter of physical strength, but a harmonization of mind, body, and spirit. In the mornings, as the first rays of the sun kissed the mountain peaks, we engaged in intricate katas, fluid movements that spoke a language beyond words. The dance of combat became an art form, each strike and block a brushstroke on the canvas of our training ground. The monks, with their watchful eyes, corrected our forms, ensuring that every motion was a manifestation of both precision and grace. As the days unfolded, we delved into the mastery of weapons, ancient blades, staffs, and even exotic instruments like the meteor hammer. Each weapon was an extension of our being, and under the guidance of the monks, we learned not only the physical techniques but also the spiritual essence embedded in each weapon. The training extended beyond the physical realm, encompassing meditation sessions that took us into the realms of the mind. The monks, with their mystical powers, imparted the ancient art of mental focus and discipline. We learned to quiet the cacophony of thoughts, attuning our minds to the cosmic vibrations that surrounded us. Under the guidance of these monastic marvels, we began to unlock extraordinary abilities that blurred the line between the mortal and the divine. It was a journey that transcended the limitations of ordinary existence, and as we neared the culmination of our training, the monks initiated us into the innermost sanctums of their ancient knowledge. In the heart of the monastic enclave, amidst flickering candles and the fragrant scent of incense, the monks revealed the profound secrets that had been guarded for centuries. They spoke of energies that flowed through the meridians of the body, of qi and its manipulation, and of the interconnectedness of all living things. Our training in China, a harmonious blend of physical prowess and metaphysical enlightenment, had transformed us into beings capable of feats that defied the ordinary laws of nature. As we bid farewell to the mist-shrouded mountains, we carried with us not only the physical skills honed by the monks but also the esoteric knowledge that bound us to the mystical tapestry of the East. Our journey continued, fueled by the convergence of ancient teachings and divine destiny, as we pressed forward into the unfolding chapters of our extraordinary odyssey. Emerging from the depths of shadows, Jesus and I felt the weight of destiny upon our shoulders. Our skills, honed to perfection through mystical teachings and rigorous training, now sought the light as we confronted the assassins and those desperate to thwart the unfolding prophecy. The world, unaware of the extraordinary journey that had shaped us, would soon bear witness to our deadly prowess. The time had come to step out from the concealment and face the adversaries who had relentlessly pursued us. As we moved through the shadows, the night became our ally, concealing our movements like ghosts in the moonlit darkness. The first confrontation took place in the narrow alleys of an ancient city, where the stench of anticipation hung thick in the air. The clang of steel resonated as we engaged our adversaries, their eyes widening with disbelief as they faced an enemy whose skills transcended mortal limits. In a swift, synchronized dance, Jesus and I executed a seamless series of maneuvers, disarming our foes with a blend of martial finesse and divine precision. A hooded figure lunged towards us, a dagger glinting malevolently in the moonlight. Without hesitation, Jesus twisted, his hand meeting the assailant's wrist in a move that disarmed and incapacitated in one fluid motion. The dagger clattered to the cobblestone street, rendered useless in the face of our perfected techniques. In the silence that followed, I stepped forward, my voice cutting through the night like a whispering wind. We are not here to fight, but to fulfill a destiny ordained by forces beyond your understanding. Stand down, and your life may yet be spared. The second encounter unfolded in the dense foliage of a moonlit forest, where shadows danced among the trees like ethereal specters. The air crackled with tension as our adversaries closed in, underestimating the lethal harmony that Jesus and I had cultivated in our training. A burly opponent lunged at me with brute force, but a quick sidestep and a calculated strike to his pressure points left him crumpling to the ground. The precision with which we dismantled our foes was mesmerizing, a choreography of destruction executed with an otherworldly grace. In the midst of the skirmish, Jesus engaged in a display of unmatched agility. A group of assailants surrounded him, their weapons glinting menacingly. With the fluidity of a river's current, he disarmed them with calculated strikes, breaking bones and rendering their weapons useless. "Your path ends here," he declared, his voice resonating with a quiet authority that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to oppose us. The final confrontation took place in the dimly lit corridors of an ancient temple, the air heavy with the scent of incense and centuries-old secrets. The shadows played tricks on the eyes as we faced the mastermind orchestrating the attempts to silence us. With a glance exchanged between Jesus and me, we closed in on our ultimate adversary. In a swift, synchronized motion, we disarmed the mastermind, immobilizing them with a calculated precision that left no room for escape. The prophecy, written in the stars and etched in the annals of time, would not be denied. As the world bore witness to our emergence from the shadows, a new chapter unfolded in our extraordinary journey. The deadly prowess we exhibited became a testament to the convergence of ancient teachings and divine destiny, and as we stood amidst the fallen adversaries, the prophecy loomed ever larger on the horizon, waiting to be unveiled in the tapestry of our intertwined fates. The news of John's tragic demise cut through the air like a blade, leaving Jesus and me reeling with a potent mix of grief and fury. The whispers of betrayal and deceit reached our ears, painting a sordid tale of a Jezebel with a lust for power and a thirst for blood, ultimately leading to John's untimely demise. Determined to bring justice to his memory, Jesus and I embarked on a relentless pursuit, our hearts heavy with the weight of grief, and our souls burning with a righteous rage. The path to retribution led us through the labyrinthine corridors of power, and we set our sights on the king who had orchestrated this malevolent plot. The night of reckoning arrived as we infiltrated the king's heavily guarded palace. The shadows embraced us as we moved with the stealth of panthers, navigating the intricate network of passageways and secret chambers. With a combination of divine intuition and earthly skill, we managed to breach the inner sanctum, the king's chamber. As we confronted the malevolent ruler, a man who had orchestrated John's demise, our divine wrath unfolded in a scene that blurred the boundaries between justice and vengeance. The king, surrounded by opulence and arrogance, found himself helpless before our onslaught. With calculated precision, I targeted the pressure points that rendered him paralyzed, unable to move or speak. His eyes widened in terror as I unleashed a torment that mirrored the agony inflicted upon John. The room resonated with the sounds of his muffled cries, the very walls witnessing a gruesome spectacle of divine retribution. In the midst of this calculated torture, Jesus, fueled by a divine rage, unleashed a punishment that transcended moral comprehension. His eyes, ablaze with righteous fury, bore into the king's soul as he pronounced judgment for the heinous act committed against John. Each word, imbued with a divine resonance, echoed through the chamber, sealing the fate of the malevolent ruler. The pursuit of justice didn't end there. It extended to the Pharisees and the Sadducees who had conspired in this web of deceit. Tracking them down required a combination of relentless determination and divine guidance. Each confrontation unfolded as a clash between mortal and divine forces. Confronting the Pharisees, I spoke with a voice that carried the weight of ages. Your betrayal against the truth has unleashed a divine wrath that cannot be quenched. Repent for the sins committed against the righteous, for the retribution you now face is the echo of your own deeds. The Sadducees, wise in the ways of manipulation and deceit, met Jesus' unyielding gaze. He spoke with a quiet authority that silenced even the most cunning among them. Your wisdom has been corrupted, and your path veered from the righteous. The scales of justice demand restitution, and you shall face the consequences of your actions. The scenes unfolded in a crescendo of divine retribution, as the assailants faced the consequences of their betrayal. In the end, justice prevailed, but the echoes of the gruesome pursuit lingered in the air, a reminder that the quest for retribution, fueled by grief and divine wrath, could leave an indelible mark on the annals of history. The showdown with the Pharisees was not merely a clash of physical might, but a battleground where ideologies clashed and divine powers met in a spectacular collision. The whispers of their corruption had reached our ears, and we knew that a confrontation was inevitable. These Pharisees, corrupted by greed and power, had not only plotted to silence Jesus but had woven a web of deceit to catch him in their manipulative snare. As we traversed through a seemingly ordinary town, little did they know that their own plot would become the stage for their undoing. The air hung heavy with tension as we neared a section of the town encased by towering walls. Unbeknownst to the Pharisees, we had strategically orchestrated an ambush, and the trap would soon snap shut. From the top of the wall, we unleashed a torrent of boiling oil upon our unsuspecting adversaries below. Their initial screams of shock and horror echoed through the narrow streets as the skin-peeling oil wreaked havoc upon their bodies. Panic set in as they realized they were ensnared in a trap of their own making. As the Pharisees writhed in pain, I descended from the wall to stand before their quivering forms. The townspeople, witnessing the spectacle, watched in stunned silence. I spoke, my voice carrying the weight of divine authority. Your corruption has tainted the sacred teachings, and your greed has blinded you to the true path. It is time for justice to be served. Jesus, with a gaze that pierced through the very fabric of their souls, addressed the Pharisees directly. Your misguided allegiance to power has clouded your judgment. You stand accused of distorting the sacred teachings for personal gain, and now you shall face the consequences. As the townspeople looked on, a surreal hush descended upon the scene. The Pharisees, still recovering from the scalding oil, were unaware of the supernatural twist that awaited them. Jesus, with a profound calm, ignited the oil-soaked ground beneath them. A mystical flame erupted, consuming the Pharisees in an unnatural conflagration that seemed to dance with the very essence of divine retribution. The flames shifted through a spectrum of colors, from ethereal blues to fiery reds, leaving the onlookers marveling at the supernatural display. Jesus, his eyes reflecting the gravity of the moment, spoke as the flames engulfed the corrupted Pharisees. The divine fire purifies the truth, and those who distort it shall be consumed by its unforgiving embrace. Let this be a lesson for those who seek to pervert the sacred teachings for their own gain. The townspeople, witnesses to this supernatural spectacle, stood in awe as the fire subsided, leaving only ashes in its wake. The showdown with the Pharisees had not only been a physical clash but a divine proclamation against corruption, resonating through the very soul of the town. The colors of the flames, now a memory etched into the collective consciousness of the onlookers, served as a testament to the unraveling of a malevolent order and the emergence of divine justice. The Sadducees, ensnared in their web of deceit and demonic practices, proved to be a formidable foe, requiring a strategic and patient approach. The air was thick with the scent of malevolence as we learned of their vile practices, using witchcraft to subjugate women, turning them into concubine slaves and temple prostitutes for their perverse pleasures. In the shadows, we bided our time, camping out for weeks, observing the patterns of their movements and patiently awaiting the opportune moment to infiltrate their fortress. As whispers of their dark rituals and manipulative schemes reached our ears, a simmering rage fueled our determination to dismantle this organization of deceit. One moonless night, with the fortress shrouded in darkness, we huddled in whispered conversation, strategizing our approach. The plan unfolded with meticulous precision, the air charged with an energy that bespoke the impending clash between divine justice and malevolent forces. We strike when they least expect it, Jesus spoke with a steely resolve. Their fortress may seem impenetrable, but every stronghold has its vulnerabilities. We exploited the underbelly of their fortress, a concealed entrance guarded by shadows and overlooked by the arrogance of the Sadducees. Our movements were calculated, navigating the labyrinthine corridors undetected. The air seemed to hold its breath as we closed in on our prey. As we breached the inner sanctum, the Sadducees, immersed in their demonic rituals, were caught off guard. The element of surprise was our ally, and the ensuing confrontation was a symphony of divine wrath and mortal terror. "Your unholy practices end here," Jesus declared, his voice resonating with an authority that pierced through the demonic incantations. The Sadducees, their eyes widened in fear, faced a force that transcended the earthly realm. In a series of intense confrontations, we dismantled the organization, exposing their perverse plots and conspiracies. The fortress echoed with the clash of celestial powers, as we unveiled the deeper layers of their malevolence. In a dark chamber adorned with forbidden symbols, we uncovered the plot against the bloodline, their insidious attempts to corrupt and manipulate the divine lineage coursing through our veins. Dialogues echoed through the chamber as the Sadducees, cornered and desperate, attempted to justify their demonic activities. "The power within our bloodline cannot be tainted by your dark machinations," I asserted, my words cutting through the thick tension. "Your conspiracy ends here, and justice will be meted out by forces beyond your understanding." As the confrontation reached its climax, the demonic activities of the Sadducees unraveled, revealing the depth of their malevolent influence. The fortress, once a symbol of their perceived invincibility, crumbled as we dispelled the darkness that had taken root. The moonlit night bore witness to the downfall of the Sadducees, their fortress now a silent testimony to the clash between divine justice and the sinister forces that sought to extinguish it. The bloodline, guarded by the celestial powers, remained untarnished, and the echoes of the confrontation lingered in the air, a warning to those who dared to conspire against the forces that transcended mortal comprehension. The shadows of impending doom hung heavy in the air as the confrontation with the Pharisees reached its climax. Unbeknownst to Jesus and me, a web of betrayal had been spun, leading to his capture in a Roman city. The Pharisees, fueled by their insidious agenda, had paid handsomely to orchestrate this tragic turn of events. It was during a restless night, Jesus spoke to me with an eerie calmness. "I've had a dream, Matthew. A vision that foretells my capture. Hide, my cousin, and we shall meet again soon. I have mastered the techniques of life and death." His words carried a weight that transcended the moment, a premonition of the sacrifice that awaited him. In the shadows, I retreated, concealing myself as the events unfolded, an unwilling witness to the divine tragedy about to unfold. Captured and beaten, Jesus was led to a place that would become infamous through centuries, the site of the crucifixion. The skies, ominous with the weight of impending sorrow, seemed to reflect the gravity of the ordeal. It was not a cross that bore the burden of his sacrifice, but a tree, a detail hidden through centuries in the retelling of the tale. The cruelty of his captors knew no bounds as they subjected him to brutal beatings, the echoes of their cruelty reverberating through the desolate landscape. As they prepared to hang him, the method veered from the familiar image of nails through his hands and feet. Instead, he was suspended by his neck, a grotesque manifestation of the depths of their cruelty. The agony etched across his face was not just physical but a reflection of the profound sacrifice unfolding. In the midst of this harrowing scene, the sky cracked open with a mighty thunderclap, an otherworldly resonance that shook the very foundations of the earth. A celestial ship, grand and majestic, descended from the heavens. It radiated a light that seemed to pierce through the darkness, a beacon of divine intervention. As the people watched in a state of shock and disbelief, Jesus, hanging from the tree, became bathed in the celestial light. His form began to shimmer, and in a moment that defied moral comprehension, he vanished. The tree stood bereft of its burden, and Jesus was taken up to the heavens in a marvelous display that left the onlookers in awe. The celestial ship, a vessel of divine mercy, ascended with Jesus, disappearing into the heavens. The people, witnesses to this extraordinary event, fell to their knees in a collective gasp. Whispers of the miraculous occurrence spread like wildfire, and the tale of Jesus' sacrifice, veiled in the mystical, was etched into the annals of history. I, Matthew, emerged from hiding, grappling with the profound truth of what I had witnessed. The sacrifice was not one of defeat but a testament to the mastery of life and death, a divine revelation that transcended the cruelties of moral persecution. In the aftermath of this celestial intervention, the legacy of Jesus' sacrifice took root, shrouded in the mysteries that unfolded in the skies and forever etched into the hearts of those who bore witness to the miraculous event.
Please stay tuned for part 2. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe for future adventures from Quantum Narratives, where any story is possible.